Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daryl from Batangas State University, and from today's video, I'm going to have a comparative analysis on these two topologies. So, as you can see here, this is I've already made our first topology, and here is our second topology. So I'm going to explain both of this topology and have a comparative analysis on this two topology. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, uh, here in our first topology, so we have here a router. This is the router 1. This is the router 2. So we have two router here, and we have here two switches. So let's go check here in our router 0. So you can see here in our fast Ethernet 0/0, we have the IP address, which is the 1.168.0.1, and subnet mask of 255.0.0.0. And we have to in the port status, we have to check this on to bring the state up of this fast Ethernet here. And sorry, let's uncheck here the fast Ethernet 1/0. As you can see here, this should be on to bring the state up. And here's the MAC address 003.E.4, that's B.5.9.7.1. So I've assigned here the default gateway of the IP address. So it is 128.168.0.1, and the subnet mask is the 255.255.0.0. So that is in configurations inside the router 0. So basically it is connected by a copper straight through cable, PC to switch, and switch to router. And when we are going to connect these two router, we use the serial DTE cable to connect the two router. So let's proceed to the PCs and check their IP configuration. So here in the PC1, as you can see, the default gateway here that I configured is 1.168.0, which is here inside the router. So let's proceed to the IP configuration. So the IP address. So I was recalling the static and the DHCP. So in the DHCP, it will automatically assign an IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So later on, we're going to have that in our second topology. So this is the IP address, the subnet mask, which is the 25.0, and the default gateway, which is 1.168.0.1. And here in the PC 10, it is the fast Ethernet 0, and the default gateway, of course, is the one that I assigned, is 1.168.0.1. So next, here in the PC2, here, as you can see, the default, I changed here the default gateway. So let's check the default gateway here in fast Ethernet 1. So this is the default gateway that I've assigned, 128.168.0.1. So here in PC2, the default gateway is here 128 and 168.01. And in the PC3, it is 128.168.01. So inside the desktop tab and then IP configuration, the IP address of this is 128.168.0.2, and the subnet mask is the 255.255.0.128.168 and that 0.1. So here in our next network, which is has the router 1. So in the router 1, this is the fast ethernet 0, which in IP, the default IP address that I've configured here is 192.168.0.0, and the subnet mask is the 255.255.255. And in fast ethernet 1/0, this is the MAC address. This is the default gateway that I've assigned in the fast ethernet 1/0, 126.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is the 255.0.0.0.0. And remember, the port status should be checked here. It is on, so bring the status up. So let's check the PCs. Here is the PC0. As you can see, the gateway is 192.168.0.1. So that is the default gateway. And when we proceed here in the IP configuration, the IP address here is 192.168.0.2. So the subnet mask, the default gateway. And in the next PC, uh, as you can see, the default gateway is 192.168.0.1, and IP address, that is the 192.168.0.3, and here is the 255.255 and 192.168.0.1. Here here in the switch tree and the two pieces here, you can see the default gateway here is different. It's 126.168.1.0 because it's belong here in the fast ethernet 1/0, which has the default gateway of 126.8.0.1.1. So here is the IP address and the subnet mask and the 126. The default gateway is that one that we assign. So in the PC5, the default gateway is 126.168.1.1, and in the IP configuration, this is the IP address that I've assigned. This is the proper subnet mask and the default gateway. And that is for this first network topology. So let's proceed to our second topology. So here in our next topology, as you can see, there is a three routers, and we have 5 switches, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 PCs, and we have one server. So the purpose of this server is to request the DHCP assigning in IP address. Later on, we will go tackle that. Let's check first in the router. So I configure here. Remember to always switch this on. So see, this is the MAC address, and in the IP address I've assigned here 168.1.0 and the 255, the subnet mask. And in fast ethernet 1, I have assigned here 128.168 and 255 to 255 in the subnet mask, which will automatically appear there when you assign your IP address. So here, let's check. Here in the default gateway, as you can see, that's the one that I assigned in the router. And in the IP configuration is 1.2.198.2. 255, the default gateway. Here also in the PC, the default gateway is already here, and then in the desktop tab, this is the IP address that I've assigned to, and the subnet mask, the default and default gateway. And remember to keep the IP address of different PC unique to avoid problems or conflict, because when you have the same IP address on different devices, you will encounter problems there. So each device should have a unique IP addresses. So here in below the PC2, the default gateway here is 128.168.0.1, the one that I assigned here. And desktop and the IP configuration, this is the IP address, the subnet mask, the default, and the default gateway. Here in the PC3, this is the default gateway and the IP address of the PC3, subnet mask, the default gateway. And let's proceed here in the middle part, which is the router 1, the switch 1, and let's go inside here in the fast ethernet 0/0. Here in the IP address, I've assigned the default IP address, which is 192.168.0.1, and the 255, which is the subnet mask. So always turn this on. And in the first Ethernet 1/0, I have assigned the default gateway 126.168.1.1. And let's check the PCs here. In the PC, as you can see here, the default gateway that I've assigned. And let's go to IP configuration. Here's the IP address, the subnet mask, the default gateway. And in PC7, the default gateway is also the same. Desktop, IP configuration, and the IP address of the PC7, subnet mask, and the default gateway. And the PC is under. It has different default gateway, which I've assigned here in the fast Ethernet 1. This is the default gateway that was here. And in the IP configuration, this is the one to IP address of the PC4. This is the subnet mask, the default gateway. And in PC5, this is the default gateway and the IP address that I've assigned, subnet mask, and the default gateway. And let's check to the another network. This is the third router. So here, excuse me, is the MAC address. And always to on to check the on button here in the port status to bring the state up. And IP address, the default IP address that I assigned here is 191.168.1.1. So this is the subnet mask that will automatically appear there. And the fast Ethernet 1/0. So since I do not have here the set of PC, I did not assign the fast Ethernet 0. So it has only the fast Ethernet 001, which is this part. So here, let's check the PC. Here, the default is the one that I've assigned, 192.168.1. And in the PC8, it is 191 and 168 and 1.1. So this server is purpose of this is the DHCP server. So as you can see here, the service is on. This is the full name as you like it. You name it as you want. So this is the default gateway, the DNS server. So the start IP address should be here, and the subnet mask is here. And the maximum number of users is 512. And here, as you can see, the information is located here under. So let's try to request the DHCP server by clicking here. So as you can see, request quit requesting and DHCP request successful. So we managed to request the DHCP. And let's try in the other PCs. We try to request in the DHCP. So requesting DHCP request successful. So so here in our first topology, we are only limited on the connecting router to switches. While here in our second topology, we managed to connect different networks, and we managed to request DCP to the DCPH server. We managed to request the IP address, which is the DHCP server provide. So that's it for today's video. And if you learned something, and if you like this video, please leave a like and share, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.